Good morning, folks, and welcome back to the channel. Something a little bit different this week. I'm currently away. Basically been invited to an MPGS do down at RAF Shawbury. Spent the night last night at the Sergeant's Mess at RAF Cosford with my very good friend Wayne Bakes, and he suggested that we try this out. And we are at the Royal Air Force Museum at Cosford. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and pay for my parking, and then we'll get in and we'll have a mooch around the museum and see what they got. Pick you up inside. Right, so we just got in. It is free to get into the museum, although you do have to pay for parking, which you can do and pre-book online. What I'll do with that is I will put a link down below, so if you're interested in coming here to have a look around, you can do. So we'll just flip the camera around and show you what we've got as we walk in to the first displays. First aircraft we've got here, an old Nimrod. Now I've actually had a flight in one of these when I was an air cadet back in the 80s. 7 hours over the Bay of Biscay, sub-hunting out of RAF St Morgan. And the last flight of this aircraft was 29th of July 2011. What have we got over here? I think this is a Domini. Yep, it's a Domini. Yep. Does mark me out as a bit of a spotter. Yep. There's an old Jet Provost over there. That brings back some memories, because when I passed out of RAF Swinderby back in 1985, our fly past was 3 of them. The flight the week before got a Tornado, and we get 3 Jet Provosts. But hey ho. And no, I wasn't serving when that was in service. I did pick up the guidebook. That'll cost you a £5, but it's worth having just to have a read bits and pieces. So we'll now go in and do the first 100 years of the Air Force in Hangar 1. And there she is, the Spitfire. This is in the livery of 72 Squadron. And that there on the tail fin is the 72 Squadron badge. You don't see too many of them. A VC. Wing Commander Nicholson. And he got that on the 16th of August. His Hurricane was hit by enemy aircraft, and despite sustaining some serious injuries, and with his Hurricane ablaze, he continued to pursue and shoot down a Messerschmitt 110. So yeah, if you're seriously injured and your plane's on fire, then yeah, VC all day long, I think. And the ME 109. And the engine from it. Daimler-Benz DB605. That is some size engine. And obviously, the other main aircraft of the Battle of Britain, the Hawker Hurricane.
believe the Hurricane got more kills than the Spitfire, but the Spitfire is obviously the most famous of them all. This is a Defiant Mark 1. Here's one that some people might not recognise. This was a prototype TSR-2. And the project got cancelled, so it never made it into action. But it's a beautiful looking aircraft. And no, this is not a Harrier. This is the forerunner to a Harrier, the Hawker Siddeley Kestrel. So now we're moving to the second hangar, which they've called War in the Air. German Me-262. Fortunately, they didn't get these off the ground at the back end of the Second World War, otherwise I think we'd have been in trouble. And I think, is that a V1 or a V2? The long one's an artillery rocket. This is an Avro Lincoln, a sister of the Lancaster. And the Mosquito. Yeah, that is a V2. It was something I remember my grandparents telling me about, the old doodlebugs. The V1 flying bomb.
We're now going to move across to what was my era in the Air Force, the Cold War, which ended in 1989. When I was actually stationed in Germany. So we'll move into there, and this should bring back some happy memories.
This is the old Cold War Museum. Interesting boards on USA, USR and USSR and UK development of nuclear weapons. The old aircraft, a few of which that were in service when I joined up. This one certainly was, the Victor, part of the V-Force. And this, in my opinion, and it is only my opinion, is probably one of the finest aircraft the Royal Air Force have ever had. The Vulcan. It is a thing of beauty. And hanging from the ceiling up there is an old Lightning. Back in the days when this country could actually design and build probably some of the best aircraft in the world. Yep, thought it was. That's a Bloodhound. Actually, I had one of these as a gate guardian when I was at North Uffenham. I remember seeing these out in Germany. And Scorpion. And here's the sad thing. I had a toy one of these from the Action Man when I was a kid. Oh, the old Trabby. I remember those coming across the border from East Germany. Hundreds of them. The old V-Dub Beetle. My first car. Yeah, mine was in 1976 in lime green, as opposed to the burnt orange that this one is. And obviously the classic Mini. Oh, hell, BV. Been in one of them. think we had one on the range in Germany. Certainly had one in the been in one in the Falklands. Now this is probably the RAF's most famous helicopter. It's a Chinook, and it's known as Bravo November, and partook in just about every conflict for over 40 years of service. 4 of her pilots have been awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross, and she was actually one of the helicopters that was on the Atlantic conveyor when it was attacked in 1982 on its way down to the Falklands, and she was the only one that survived. We managed to get her operating again, and she was used in the Falklands conflict in 1982. And I'm not sure, but I believe she was still down there in 1987 when I went down there. This is another one of the aircraft used in the Falklands. The Harrier GR3. Now in 82 this one was in Germany, but they shipped it to the Falklands, and she fought in the campaign down there in 82. Why we got rid of these, I do not know. They are an incredible aircraft. And the US Marines still operate them, so they still have a place on the battlefield. But there we go. Same as that red and white, the one that was parked out by the entrance, the Jet Provost. Flight trainer. Various different jet engines. Thought it was across to meet you, but I've never seen one of those on the front. This was a modification, and it was abandoned. Moving outside again, got a couple of the larger aircraft on display. Obviously that one's so recognisable, the big green one there, the Fat Albert, or the Hercules, which has just retired from service. Again, a cracking aircraft, probably better than the new one. And the big grey one there is a VC-10, which they only actually retired in 2015, 2016, because I was at Bryce Norton at the time, and I remember them doing the last flight. They got rid of them. They got rid of these because basically they're just too noisy. They're not the new whisper jets that are dead quiet. Not only was it a passenger jet, it was also an air-to-air refueler. Right, overall, it's a cracking little museum, this. If you want to come, like I said, it is free. I'll stick a link down below so you can book yourself a visit. Set yourself at least a couple of hours. I mean, I've been in here just over 2 hours now. So set yourself a couple of hours aside, come down and have a look. There's loads and loads of history, some fantastic aircraft on display, and well worth a visit. So, on that note, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, give us a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you really want to, and we'll pick you up on the next one. Catch you later, guys.